Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We got another great show here for you today. We got Shawn Allen back after his miraculous $20,000 per month cash flow on market 54 unit that he bought in Ingersoll. We're going to be talking with him about how he started, what he did to get to be able to buy a 54 unit, what he does right now, what he's looking at, what he thinks the future holds for him, and what he would do differently, obviously, as a 20-year-old. All right, here we go. Shawn, welcome back to the channel, my friend.
Thank you. Geez, 20-year-old, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, 15 years ago?
28 years, yeah. Who's counting, right?
Good. So, I mean, thanks so much. We really appreciate having you on, going through the numbers for the 54 unit.
And you caught me in a mistake, too. So
I did catch you in a mistake.
We want to say that you're right again.
I'm right.
Right?
You know what? All I'm waiting for in my life is my wife to say that.
Good luck with that.
Thanks. Well, yeah, so I kind of just wanted to get more of your journey. How does somebody get to start to buy a 54 unit? So what was your first real estate deal ever?
My first real estate deal was renting out basically my own property. So a property I lived in, and then we moved, and I just kept that property and rented it out. My first actual...
So it was a single family home?
Yeah, it was a
rented out
semi
rooms
in Cambridge. No, I rented the entire thing to a family.
Okay.
It was actually turned out to be a disaster. It got absolutely trashed, like one of the worst I've seen. That was the first sort of foray, and then at the same time I bought my first flip at an auction, and that sort of started us.
Bought it at auction?
Yeah, an auction. So, you know, like...
In Canada?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've probably bought about 6 properties from auctions, where you're standing on the front lawn and the auctioneer is going, okay, who's going to give me 250? Who's going to give me 260?
So,
right?
where what markets are those in?
All around Kitchener. That's where I was buying them.
I've never been to a property auction. That's interesting. How do you find out about those? Like, do they happen now still, or?
Yep, absolutely. I don't want to tell you where you find out, because then I'll have competition, right? I got to keep some secrets.
I'm sure we can Google it. I mean,
that's just it. Yeah, you can find it anywhere on the internet.
There's this strange thing called Google that tells you everything now. There's no secrets anymore. Like,
you just basically, like, there's websites that actually list whatever auctions are happening in Southwestern Ontario, and just go from there.
Fair enough. Because I mean, so I know in cottage country, I hear that there's properties being auctioned, and I guess if you know your numbers, you can go get a deal, right?
Yep. Sometimes you get a deal, sometimes not so much. Like, I had my wife Jen went to an auction for me that I couldn't attend in the spring, and it went way too high. So the person who bought it, like, there was zero equity left in it. So you got to know your number, right?
They might have been buying to live in it, right? And they didn't.
And in that case, that's fine, right? And that's, you know, you get that with MLS listings right now too, right? When you've got a deal or a fixer-upper and it ends up getting 30 offers, and the guy who bought it close to market value. Well, he got 30,000 equity, but that doesn't work for someone who's doing it as a business, right?
Yeah. So so you buy rentals, you flip properties, you buy properties at auction. Do you sell properties at auction?
No, I've never sold one at auction.
Okay.
No.
Do you do anything else? You buy, you obviously burr a lot.
So mainly we flip. That's kind of what we're known for. So we were doing up to 30 flips a year.
Okay, that's a heck of a lot. So you obviously own your own construction company.
We do, yes.
Okay, because that's where it starting to make sense. So you have crews and...
but I didn't actually own one until, like, I just bought it this spring. So up until that point, we had just used crews, and, you know, we had tried to hire people internally and did all the different stuff, right? But really it was just a matter of hiring different people.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this, and how many flips have you done?
Oh, geez.
Estimates.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know how long it's been going.
I've been doing it since 2008-ish. More seriously, I used to work for Toyota full-time until about 7 years ago. So the last 7 years we've been ramping up.
It's only 5 years, but it's okay.
Yeah, and no, 2008 is when we started, but about 7 years ago. So I did a lot of when I was actually working.
And so you worked for 2 years and ramped it up, and for those 2 years you just didn't sleep.
So we were, pretty much, And then, so we've been doing flips. We just started into development projects. Buy and holds, obviously.
Yeah, you're not doing a church too, are you?
Not doing a church, no.
Because everyone I have on seems to be like, oh, I bought a church. We're going to put it like Ken Beckham, Corey. They're all doing a church. And I'm just like, okay, good.
Yeah. Well, hey, I bought a school that was converted.
You bought a school.
Right?
I mean, well, yeah. Everyone should have seen that because they would have watched the 54.
I did convert a retirement residence into an 11-plex.
Amazing.
So, not a church, but close enough.
There you go. How many flips have you done, do you think?
I've done over 100.
And now you do 30 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the system, you have the model. Like you start at 1, figure it out. Okay, 2
systems. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have, how many do you have on the go right now?
I think we're down to about 9 flips plus our development projects right now.
Where do you find most of your flips?
Off market.
Market. Wholesalers?
Yeah,
do you
wholesalers.
Do marketing?
Yeah, we do marketing. So we do all the digital, like pay-per-click, Facebook ads, all that stuff. We do some guerrilla type marketing, signs.
What's your website?
So Rescue Real Estate is what we do for our marketing side.
Okay.
And then Veranda Property is kind of like
our Veranda.
Yeah, that's our company, right?
Okay. Well, we'll put both links in the description down below. If anybody wants to find out more about you, they can go. I know obviously you're on Facebook, social media. We'll put your links down below. So you're going to do 30 flips this year.
This year we're close to 25-ish. Yeah. Okay. We're busy with other stuff.
I mean, you bought a 54 unit. You're buying more. You're buying more buy and hold.
Yep.
It seems like
the bigger properties. Yeah. So the plan this year was to sell off. In the last few years, we bought portfolios of 11 properties and 13 properties in London and St. Thomas. So we've been selling off some of that smaller duplex, triplex, fiveplex, that sort of stuff, and concentrating more on the buy and hold of the bigger properties.
So what's your geographical area for flipping?
Anywhere southwestern Ontario, kind of within, we like to go within an hour of Woodstock, but we'll go further. And we also do a lot in Peterborough.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because I saw one in Kawarthas.
So I got 3 going on in Kawarthas right now.
Yeah, and that's just obviously opportunity came, so you started developing stuff out there.
Yep.
You also said while we were on break between shooting the 54 unit number thing that you have one in Florida that you're flipping.
Yes. Which has been a real big issue with COVID.
Yeah.
Like literally, we had bought it and then gutted it, and then COVID. So we haven't been down to see it since.
Where in Florida?
Boca Raton.
Okay, that's like southern end, right?
It's in between Fort Lauderdale and
Miami. No, south of Miami, is it? Or?
Where is it?
I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, anyway, Jupiter. That's where it is.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I had friends in Hollywood.
Yep.
Yeah. What made you go there?
The plan was, so we're looking for something for us to live in, for during the winter. But the plan was to go down there in the winter and flip there as well. So just use that as a different market. It was a rocky start so far.
All right. So for people who want to get into flipping, what's your words of wisdom? Like what would you tell people? I'm sure people come up to you all the time and say, Shawn, I want to get into flipping. What do I do?
Yeah, all the time. I think number one is, you got to know your numbers, right? Like you have to, if you don't know your ARV, your after repair value, and you don't have that down perfectly, you're in trouble. Yeah. So you need to know your numbers and work backwards, and then you just have to take action. So many people analyze the numbers and then don't do anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's so funny. Like we've had a bunch of people on, and they talk about, they just take action. Yep. And I mean, the market has made a lot of people geniuses too, because I was delayed a year, and that really did help because obviously, like your smaller markets are probably up 15 to 20%. I mean, Hamilton's up 14 to 15%. Like Windsor's up like something stupid, like 25%, right? So, but I mean, again, you just take action, and with low interest rates, people are going to go ahead and buy this, right? Yeah. So know your numbers, take action.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not that much to it, right? It's a pretty simple formula. You just have to go out and do it.
Are all your properties cookie cutter now? Like, do you use the same materials? Everything's like own design and?
We try to, I mean, for the most part, if we can do the same design, use the same material, we have stuff left over, we can use it here and there and another thing, but that's not necessarily a prerequisite for me. Like, well, we do everything from a full get to just cosmetic or just a hotel, right? Like, so we don't necessarily look for that. We just know how to do it within the numbers.
Right. So obviously you're out there advertising for properties.
Yep.
You're doing Google, Facebook,
pay-per-click, all that stuff.
Yep. How many properties do you get in for how many properties you'll put under contract?
Like how many leads do we get?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's 1% of the leads, right? Like
you'll get 100
leads,
people.
yeah, and they're just fishing, or they're they want market value or above market value, right? People are just looking out there. So most of the leads aren't realistic, but 1 out of 100 works out, right? It's just a numbers game.
So I'm sure like 10% are actually realistic, and then you buy 10% of those 10%, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you just need to
sheer numbers.
Sheer numbers.
Yep. Just keep pushing, and like you said, we buy properties from wholesalers. Luke Boyron, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yep.
I buy a ton of properties from him as well, and then we buy some still off of MLS, right? But most of the time, it's a connection, right? That someone sends this to us, and I know what you do. I think this property is good for you, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because we can't get into the battles, right? Of the numbers just keep going up and up and up.
Well, again, like we were involved by our clients on one, and there was like 28 offers. We sold one on Tuesday with 10 offers, went 230 over asking. Like, again, right? Like, it's just not like I mean, you're obviously listing everything you're selling because, I mean, you want those bidding wars, right?
Yeah.
So you flip a heck of a lot still.
Yeah.
But now you're getting more into buy and hold. So why? So was that always the decision? Like, you're like, okay, this is going to feed this, or?
Yeah, I think so. The flipping really just gives you chunks of money to add into the pool for buy and holds, right? So every chunk of money you can get from a flip, you can take that now and you can invest it into a buy and hold, so that you've got the cash flow. So the original goal was always to do that, and then to have bigger properties to hold on to for a long time and for wealth generation. And that's what we're doing.
Because you have about 140 units,
doors, ish. Yep.
And you own them all 100%.
Correct.
Yeah, no partners, you and your wife.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And then all of the development projects that we're doing as well is the same thing. It's basically just a really long flip. So we're developing the lots or the properties, selling them, and taking that money in.
Right. So started with flipping and some buy, and the flips fed the buy and holds from the beginning, correct?
Yep, correct.
All right. When did you get in development?
2 years ago, I bought my first development project.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a empty 3-acre piece of land in the middle of a small town of Norwich. Which we're developing.
We don't know where that is.
Yeah, it is. Well,
we can Google.
You already offended Tillsonburg and Ingersoll, so Norwich is like kind of right in the middle. So it's probably
there you go. So if you're from Norwich, comment down below. All 5. I mean, no.
So it was an old school site that Upper Thames or Thames Valley, took down the school, and it was just a vacant lot. Someone had started to develop it and then sold it to us, and we've been continuing to do it.
All right, just quick numbers on that. What'd you buy it for?
Bought it for $820,000.
What are you putting on there?
28 condo houses.
28 condos, like towns?
Sort of. They're connected in blocks of 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
We call those townhouses. Yeah. So 28 condo towns, like 7 different things. What's your cost to build? Like cost to get constructed to the end, and what's your sale?
Yeah. So they're trying to do math in my head right now. It's about $220 per unit to build.
I won't call you on it. So.
Yeah, sure you will. $220 to build per unit.
And then your land cost on that's about what? 50? No.
Yeah.
45 a unit?
Ish, yeah, 40.
Okay, so it's 265. Mm-hmm. What do you sell those for?
400.
400. Yeah. Okay, that's a good lift.
Yep.
What is that land actually worth today now if you just flipped the land?
About $2 million.
About $2 million.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got the benefit of all this price appreciation too.
Yeah.
What was your numbers when you started?
Well, the numbers actually, like the increase in value comes from taking it from the raw land to the SPA, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where you get the full value.
Well, for SPA, for everybody, is site plan approval.
Right, correct.
Yeah. We use acronyms in our business, and a lot of people who are watching don't understand that. So, okay, so that's the first one. What other development projects are you doing?
So I've got a 16 semi-unit build development
So is that
in
32
Lakefield.
units? Or is
No,
that
eight times two. So 16 in Lakefield.
Good old Lakefield.
Which is just outside of Peterborough.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Got that
Stop
one.
there for ice cream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. And then I just bought another one in Mount Elgin. So we're going to, it's a 25-acre plot of land. We're gonna
going big.
Develop 25 1-acre lots.
Oh, okay, so like country estate type thing. Where's Mount Elgin?
Just by Tilsonburg.
There you go. If you're from Mount Elgin, comment down below. Or
Just
Lakeview.
basically anywhere in Oxford County you've just offended, and it's okay.
I'm good like that, Ask my wife. I offend her all the time too. Is the development now replacing flips, or the flips are going to continue to go?
Yep.
Like when do they get too small that it doesn't make sense, or is it just that you have enough of a machine that it really doesn't take any time of yours, so anything is bonus?
Yeah, I don't. There's no plans to stop the flips or to even decrease them. Basically, we've got the systems, we've got the people in place to be able to do them. It's just kind of now the focus is more on. I kind of put it this way, right? Like the way that money sort of goes downhill. So you make the most developing, and then building, and then investing, right?
Yeah.
So we want to be on the higher end. So I'm focusing most of my time on developments, but they're hard to find as well. It's like trying to find a large multifamily unit. It's tough, right? Mm-hmm. But those flips are constant and they're continuous, right?
Yeah.
So we'll always do those.
What would your advice be to your 22-year-old self?
Geez. Well, 22, I wish I had started back then. I would have been so much further ahead. And the other thing is, not only do you get started, but I would have hired a coach or a mentor right off the hop. Even when I started back in 2008, I was like, I'll do it myself. I don't need any help. But the actual time that you can condense and get value from there's so much value there. So I wish I had done that.
So 22, you would have started.
Get a coach, get started, take massive action.
Yeah. Who's your coach now?
Actually, I don't have one right now, but I did. Stefan Arnio was my coach a few years ago. Awesome, fantastic. It was the best experience. And now I'm just I'm trying to find that sort of next person that I can connect with.
Well, it's hard at your level, right? Like obviously you're running businesses. Mm-hmm. Like how many employees do you have?
I don't have that many, actually. We've got
mainly contractors then.
Yeah, basically 3 in the one, and then 6 in the construction. Yeah.
Fair amount, 9 people, right? Like you're running a decent sized organization, is what I was going with.
Sure.
So to find somebody who could help you with all those aspects, maybe you do. Yeah. Like I just hired a coach because I do options trading, and I wanted to get better at one aspect, which was charting. Right. So I hired Mikey Lano. I don't know if you've seen him on the channel. No. And I say his name wrong every time, and he's going to say it's Ulano. Yeah, so but I hired a coach for one specific thing so I could get better at charting, so I could, again, increase my returns. And the same thing you might find. Anyways, but hire a coach, take action earlier. So if you guys are watching this and you're 19 years old, maybe that first step is to go get a coach. Or maybe it's to just call Shawn up and tell him you want to work for free.
Free's good.
And you know what? So many people I knew work for free for other people. I get it all the time. Yeah. My problem is that, I have so much, everything is systematized. YouTube is my hardest job right now, right? Like producing the content and doing all this. So I don't need it on the real estate side, but you're active. Like somebody could literally come in, you could have, okay, for 3 hours today, you're going to do this over at this house and you're going to do whatever. And then I'm going to spend an hour with you or whatever, right? So
I do have people ask me all the time if they can do stuff for us or work for free or whatever. It's really hard to plug people in like that.
I
right?
know. So if somebody's going to do that, and because it happens, come with a proposal. Say, hey, I want to do this for you. I want to do this for you for free. Does that work for what you need? And say no, or you say no, or this, and then you can tweak it. When if somebody says, I want to come work for free, well, what do you want to do?
Exactly. It's about bringing value, right?
Yeah. The more value you can bring to somebody like yourself, of course, you're going to be like, you do that for me. I have tons of time for you, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else you want to share with everybody before we jump off and go to lunch?
Yeah, this COVID thing that's been happening for all these months now, and people talking about I can't find deals, I can't do this.
It's not because of COVID, man. People have been telling me they can't find deals for years. Well, and I keep buying stuff. So,
and I agree, but it's another excuse, right? Yeah. So whatever excuse they can use at that time. But I just, there is so much opportunity out there, even now, and especially now in real estate. I would say that just you got to go and grab it.
Yeah. So just you go look for it. Again, I've said, go to network. I mean, I didn't even know about OnRia till yesterday when I saw somebody post about it on social media, right? And I'm like, oh, like I could be at that meeting now. Like it's all on Zoom. You don't have to travel. You can do it from home. It's super easy to go network right now. Get out there and network with people. Find the deals. I mean, auctions, Luke Byron. Like there's a wholesaling group on Facebook that you can get in, right? Like.
Absolutely.
These are all out there, so take action. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed the video, definitely subscribe, smash the like button. Let's get Shawn more likes than Andrew Hines, okay? All right, guys, thanks everyone. We'll see you in the next one.